and information session is now called to order. At this time, we'll look to our city manager for our invocation and our pledge of allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Today's invocation will be hosted by Pastor Rod Swinson from the Family Worship Center. Please stand.
Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come together in your presence. We thank you for every person that you've allowed to come in. We thank you for every officer and every official that is a part of this community. We pray now, God, for your guidance, for your direction, for you to give us the instructions, for you to give us the wisdom, that we follow your wisdom, your guidance, your direction, that everything we do be pleasing, but yet be coordinated. We pray for unity in this city and this community. We pray, God, that you would cover us and keep us and guide us in everything that we do, that there will be a commonality that we'll reach, and we can reach a place of agreement that will cause all of us to walk in peace, prosperity, and to grow. We thank you for that tonight. Have your way in every way. Yes. We receive it. In your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We want to thank our city manager for calling for Pastor Rod Swinson. Thank you so very much for our invocation and pledge. At this time, we look to our city clerk. Do we have any guests?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, we do. We have two. Our first guest, Ms. Shannon Gregory. If you would step to the podium. Ms. Gregory is here tonight to talk about a proposed poultry facility in Douglas. Ms. Gregory, if you will state your name and address, we request that you state it for the record, please. Thank you.
Of course. I'm Shannon Gregory. My address is 4885 Whitehall Church Road. So I guess you're probably scratching your head and wondering why I'm here talking to you about something that's going on in Douglas. Well, here's the thing. Hurricane Helene came through and really walloped the state of Georgia. Coffee County alone lost over 300 chicken houses. And now let me state this to be clear. I'm not against chicken houses, not one bit. We all eat chicken. It's the location that I am upset about. To fix this deficit of the 300 chicken houses, it has been proposed that on a 1,000-acre plot of land, 60 commercial chicken houses will be placed on the banks of the Satilla River, with the closest chicken house being located less than 400 feet from the Satilla River. Okay, so we got into this situation simply because the hurricane came through and flattened chicken houses. So what happens when the next hurricane comes through and flattens those chicken houses? It is because of that risk that I think everyone downstream, including the city of Waycross, needs to pay attention to this. Because where is all of that chicken waste going to go when a rain event happens? I was at the commission meeting this morning and there was a 30-minute delay because of flooding issues. This chicken facility will be built on a floodplain. So when it rains, you will have chicken waste, chicken carcasses, and everything involved with it flowing downstream to Waycross. And it is important for all of the city officials to know that this is an emerging threat. I will be hosting a town hall meeting in the Waycross Auditorium next week on Monday at 6 p.m. to go over these issues, as well as the concerned citizens going over the issues that they are concerned about with the proposed facility.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
The next guest is Dr. Earl Martin. Mr. Martin, you know the routine. Mr. Martin is here to talk about the infrastructure problems. Mr. Martin.
Yeah, Earl Martin, 902 Elizabeth Street, resident in District 3. And I wanted to bring up as a representative of the community and also speak for OATH, Okefenokee Alliance for the Homeless. The Okefenokee Alliance for the Homeless is now, they have moved in several different times over the years, but they are now presently at 115 Albany Avenue. And my concern is that when I have gone, I have part of First Baptist Church, I've been volunteering to go do meals and things like that, and found out, lo and behold, that the bathrooms are backed up and it's on the city side. They've tried several times to get it, and what's happened is that the bathrooms are not there, and this is, I think, though sometimes the homeless are not viewed as, they're kind of down on the list, a priority list, but I think that sometimes they need a spokesman, so I've appointed myself that spokesman. They have suggested the possibility of getting a porta potty, perhaps the city coming in with getting a porta potty to be able to provide bathroom facilities for that, or we understand about infrastructure, and we're going to be dealing with that tonight, and we're going to be dealing with that in the future, but I think that it's something that particularly this is an acute issue related to oath, which I consider a very important ministry in this city. Also, just in final, and I may be in error if I step across the line, but I would like to congratulate yourself, Mr. Mayor, and Ms. Commissioner Felder related to the recent honors of being elected to officials in those situations. And it is a feather in Waycross's cap, and and it's not a chicken feather. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Sir, that is all.
At this time, we will turn the remainder of our agenda to our city's manager, Mr. Duke Rayford.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, we have no travel and training schedule or request. We'll go ahead and move into the planning information session. Mr. Mayor, the vision and mission remain the same. The big buckets as far as city priorities remain the same. The bins priorities remain the same. With one change, Mr. Mayor has instructed, I removed the word homeless and insert the word unhoused citizens as a replacement. Other than that, they remain the same. Canals and alleys, as we discussed 3 meetings back, we would touch on individual priority each meeting moving forward. The first one was the canals and alleys, and we had a long discussion on that. We talked about where we are at this time. The next discussion was on blighted properties, and although this is not the main discussion tonight, I'll touch on this for a few seconds. I did meet with some citizens after we did our test pilot, and as you all know, we had discovered a probable issue with some of the inventory of properties in that area. One thing we found out actually last week, the citizens that are boarding those areas where there's a property behind them or beside them that's overgrown, we find out now in many cases they tried to buy those properties or attempted to buy them. They inquired about those properties. Upon finding out that many of these properties had a significant amount of back taxes on them and loans, of course they decided not to buy those properties. So a question was asked about maybe removing the loan, the lien on the properties as a way for those citizens to buy those properties, and it's something I think that the commission should look at moving forward in those cases. Removing that lien, it'll get paid back once those citizens start paying taxes on those properties when they pick it up. So it's a win-win for the citizens. We do need to discuss with the tax commissioner's office about how that will work moving forward. But again, that's one of those, I guess, discovery and learning that we found out that might be a way, of course, not to mitigate all the properties, but some of the properties are Waycross that are bordered by citizens wanting to just, make those areas around them look better. So it might be an option we need to look at. So just want to let the commission know that, to think about that. And we'll follow up on this in a few meetings down the road once we do some more investigations. Mr. Mayor, the next actual product we're going to talk about tonight is going to be unhoused citizens, to let the commission know where we're at on that and some things that we're doing. So as everyone knows, this is a big problem across the country with unhoused citizens. And unhoused citizens contains a lot of different groups of individuals. So what we're trying to do right now is kind of circle back and look at the problem scope to determine what it is that we're trying to fix, or actually can fix, and redefine the problem. We've had many discussions with many groups so far But I decided that we probably need to go back and kind of level some expectations on what actually can be done for the situation. We're doing that now. At the same time, we look at current policy. As we know, there are some pending changes in policy at the federal and state level that might force local action here on the ground. So we are kind of researching how that affects us when it does go into place. And then current procedures, so that would, if that policy changes, then it would affect some of our procedures by our police and some of our other organizations that help out with our unhoused citizens. And with that, Mr. Mayor, some of the things that we continue to look at, of course, the shelter. And we mentioned this shelter, it's always the main point of topic. But as the commission knows, it's not necessarily the one-all answer. But we do continue to look at options for a shelter. But we'd like citizens to know just having a shelter without programs, without funding, without staff, it's probably going to cause more problems than it can solve. But we are looking at that, continue to look at that. Of course, programs out there, and then community support. So we welcome any kind of help from citizens, and to be honest, Mr. Mayor, we're going to need that. We do have a lot of people that say they want to help, and being transparent and honest, nobody really shows up when it's time to show up. So we just want those that really care about the unhoused citizens, you got to show up as well, or else it'll continue to be a problem. Data management resource identification, it's just something we're trying to do as far as another, when I say inventory, I just mean just the location of where our unhoused citizens are living right now, to reflect upon that. And then resource identification. We did have a forum last week. We brought some agencies together. It was a pretty good turnout. That meeting was solely focused on unhoused citizens, drug dependency in other areas, with citizens in need. Went very well. Mr. Mayor and Commission, we're looking at probably doing that more than once a year, or maybe quarterly, so we can be consistent with it, and hopefully that'll gravitate with more citizens and they get more information moving down the road. And that last piece, education and training, it goes back again to the shelter. So we're definitely going to need when I say education and training, just ways to uplift those citizens and get them back on their feet so they can be sustainable and not fall back to the circumstances that got them there. So, and again, that might be something that's not in the city's will. It might be required by other agencies. And again, for that to happen, there's got to be some true collaboration. No one agency can do it by themselves, and we definitely got to work together. And I'll pause there if you got any questions or comments by the commission on unhoused citizens, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for the comments. I just wanted to share a couple of things on this topic. The National League of Cities is now producing and has produced a set of courses to help address some of these issues. One of these sessions will be August the 7th, and that time frame will be at 2 p.m. And then there's another on August the 11th at 12 p.m. And of course, I know that we have done some things here as far as meeting for the homeless with the various stakeholders. But I want to commend you on bringing this back to our conversation, because we do need to, as a city, a community, look to see what we can do to mitigate the problem or help assist those who are dealing with the being unsheltered. And with that, I'll just open the floor for commission if they had any questions for you regarding this conversation. And I'll start with District 1.
Excuse me. Yes, sir. About the housing and some of the policies, if you don't mind. With some of the houses that we do have now, and I think we have maybe sort of touched on this one time before, but do you think that there's any kind of way that we might could adjust some of these codes?
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. Commissioner Roberts is a landlord, homeowner, and I think those questions, may I finish, please?
She has to finish, and then I
May I
can come
finish,
back.
please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. You are a landlord who rents to tenants, but to ask those questions, that is a conflict of interest.
Well,
Because it gives, may I finish, please? Because it gives the perception to the citizens that you could possibly be trying to persuade this commission to vote on a decision that could benefit you. And you don't want to give that perception, considering that you are a landlord.
Now, may I say something, Mr. Mayor?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
All right.
Mayor.
With that being said, I don't have a problem with telling someone that I have some stake in property, but at the same time, that's what gives me the right to ask the question for the people that's not here, they can't ask the question. So with that being said, to me, with having some dealing with property, that some of these codes is holding up some of these houses that can't be back on the market. So that's why I asked the question. It's not about me. It's about for the other people that cannot make it to this meeting. They're having a problem that would like to buy property, but some of these codes is holding them back. So that's why I asked the question. So anything else?
Mayor,
Thank you, Commissioners. For just a moment,
Mayor.
the focal point, and I'll come to Commissioner Felder just a second.
thank you.
But what we were looking at is mainly the unhoused citizens and the situation that's dealing with them. And I understand that they're bringing codes as a conversation, but I think that would be off of our topic.
Correct.
So I want to bring us back around to our topic, and it's back to homelessness. And if there is a conversation about codes, then that needs to be a section to itself. And at this point, I look to our Commissioner Felder.
And thank you, Mayor. I do agree that needs to be a section by itself regarding codes. But also our city attorney needs to speak to that, please, regarding codes.
Okay, so if she's going to be speaking to codes, that means that if it's going to be another section, it wouldn't fit here now.
That is correct.
Okay. So that may be something to research, something to look
Yes.
into for a later conversation. Okay.
Because we
And thank
do-
you both commissioners.
Thank
for
you,
your-
because
your
we
input.
want to make sure
Yes.
that we are adhering to our city's charter, but also legally.
And
Agreed.
we
Thank you,
now-
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Commissioner Felder.
I'll take this back to our manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'll move on to the next section. 10-year plan remains the same, Mr. Mayor. As you know, we're in year 2 through 4, actually still year 2 to 3 right now. And I highlight some of the accomplishments that we've done so far. So, of course, we're still in the process of a complete overhaul of our IT systems. I want to highlight again the great job that the team has done with that. Right now, we're in we're in the second phase of the IT changeover. We got utility billing done. Next, we'll move into 2 codes, and we'll get codes, and then business licenses. As far as city clerk, all those things will be automated for our citizens. So I'm very excited about that. It's going to make us way more efficient, gives more capabilities, and it's going to be just a win-win for all the citizens. Also, if you look at the long-term financial strategy, I want to highlight finance too, because finance had a big part in the IT changeover as far as getting the proper data in there, and that team is doing a great job. They have a lot of work to do. So when I say finance, I mean both billing and utilities. They're doing a great job right now. There's a lot of work, and I think sometimes, I know that our citizens can't see it, it's not tangible, but it's a lot of work going into it, a lot of data collection, a lot of changeover, and this time next year, they're going to really see the impact from it because it'll be done. So just want to shout out to those individuals because they're doing a great job. And with that, Mr. Mayor, I'll pause on this slide. We have any questions?
Commissioner, did you have any questions of our city manager concerning this area?
Okay.
If not, you may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next, Mr. Mayor, we're moving to the discussion items. The order of presentation tonight is going to be the Human Resource Director, followed by myself, and then the Business Integration and Information System Director, and then I'll close it out.
Okay.
We have no bids, and then we have the Human Resource Director. Ms. Hendricks, thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, Mr. Mayor.
Good afternoon.
So while going through our current policies, we currently can roll over 300 hours max per person in vacation, which sounds wonderful, but when you start digging into it, we've got 3 job classifications: 80-hour employees, which is, your clerical, your records technician, the finance cashiers. You've got your 86-hour employees, which are your detectives, your police force, and then you've got 106-hour employees, which is your fire department. So for 80-hour employees, 300 max hours of vacation rollover equates to 37.5 days. For police, it's 25 days, and for our fire department, it's only 12.5 days. So what I'm proposing is that we give everyone equal rollover days. So for 80 hours, it would still be 300. For police, it would change to 450, and for fire department, it would be 900. That way, every single employee equally gets 37.5 carryover days.
Any questions, Commissioner? So you're asking for this to be modified?
Correct, yes, sir.
And specifically, there are certain amounts that are given to each one of the departments. Are you trying to give me like a less, like an underlying statement? What do you really want to see done if you had a recommendation?
Equality across the board.
Mhm.
So it's not fair that, the cashier can carry 37.5 days, but our fire department, they lose their time and they're left with 12.5 days.
Understood.
So we would like to bring them up so everyone is equal.
Okay. And so are you saying all to 37?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
And it would be a handbook change.
Having heard that, you just need consent on making that decision.
Correct.
And what I will do is poll the commission that is here, and since we have quorum now, we can ask that question. So the statement that our HR director is desirous of addressing is the issue of time frames of rollover for vacation, and to give each one of the departments the same amount of time. So we'll look to District 1.
Yes, sir.
District 2,
Yes.
and District 3.
Are we having discussion after the vote?
Well, this is for consenting, just so it can bring it before us and we can still have discussion.
Yes.
Because I believe with this consent, it gives us opportunity to have this put on our agenda for voting on tomorrow night.
That's correct.
And you do agree as well?
Yes.
So we have all three consenting, and there's some questions to be asked, just for clarity. And at this time, I'm looking to our City Commissioner 3, Commissioner Feldman.
Thank you, Mayor. You mentioned equality across the board, 37.5 carryover
For 80-hour employees.
for 80-hour employees.
Correct.
So does that include the time that they've been employed? Is that a factor into this? Their longevity with the city?
The longer that they're employed with the city, the more they accrue, the more
Right.
vacation hours that they accrue.
So how many employees do we currently have that would qualify for this 37.5 if we were to vote equally across the board?
Half of our workforce is police and fire department. So we're looking at 104, 105 employees that would need to change.
Thank you.
You have your consent? Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, before we move on to a point of further information, I just want to highlight Mr. Hendricks, her team, because we are trying to go back. She used the word equality, and another word is equity, trying to make sure it's across the board. So there will be other modifications with the handbook. We're going to make this change immediately, but the rest of them, we're going to wait to put them all at the same time and bring it back to the commission.
Very good, thank you.
Next, Mr. Mayor, we're moving to the infrastructure update. And I'll go over some of this has changed right before the meeting, so I'll try to give the most current update. So with phase 1 for the wastewater treatment plant, so that was supposed to be done this month, but because of the weather, it looks like it's going to be pushed back to the end of the month. But they made progress. Had the rain not been so strong, we probably would have been done this week, but I gave them an extension of about 30 days. So we're looking at the end of the month completing that first phase of the project. And then we're moving to phase 2, which is estimated to get completed in 2026. Next, Mr. Mayor, our two biggest sinkhole concerns being Sweat Street, Quarterman Street, and Martin Luther King Street. So the mitigation for those will start this month. We did do all the surveying. We did put out for bids, so we do have the bids back. So all that work should start at the end of this month. The thing with Quartermaster Street and MLK, we're going to be working coincide with the property owner on that area. So we'll probably be doing what we call phase 1 of that project. And then once that property owner bids on there, he'll complete phase 2. But it will all start later this month. I did update it with the 42 dirt roads. They're remaining from the splash 2023. The bids went out for the first group of roads last week. There was 7 roads. I don't have them offhand on me right now, but I did want to group the roads in 7 to 9 roads. Hopefully get through with them by mid next year. Hopefully we get multiple bids. The problem we have right now with these bids is really, for the most case, only 8 companies bidding for them half the time, and then our city engineer has to go out and solicit other people to bid for them. I'm trying to figure out how to get other companies to come here and do work that would make things move faster. But right now, it's just lesson learned. We only had really one company bids pretty much continuously, and it does slow down the work. I will say that because they get majority of the work. But we are trying to reach out to other companies. Going to go to Tifton this week. They got a company for Tifton just to see why they're not, come here to do work. We're right down the street. And then some other work in Savannah. We're right down the street as well. So we'll see how that goes. But I definitely want to figure out why they're not come here to do work. Next, Mr. Mayor, the paving roads, striping is ongoing. So the first set of roads, the roads are complete for the paving, and the city engineer firm is going through right now, just checking everything out. They did start some of the striping, and just for a point of information, what happens is, once all the roads are complete and we agree to everything, as far as the custom fields, if anything got to be remodified, once that's done, then they bring in somebody to do all the paving, do all the striping. So they don't do the striping after each road. They make sure everything is done first to our standard, and then they get a company to come back and do the striping. So right now the city engineer is going through there was a couple things that need to be fixed. Once those are fixed, we start the striping for those roads. As far as the canal, so we did get 8 out of the 9 trouble areas mitigated. It's evident by this past weekend. We had a lot of rain this weekend, continue to have rain the rest of this week. We did monitor the canals and our trouble spots. I want to also now thank the team for that. Police, fire, and public works. They were all out this weekend on standby in case something happened. Our one main trouble area on Eva Street, I can explain that. What I'm going to do is send a detailed message to the commission so you can get out to your constituents. Right now, there's nothing the city can do. We're waiting on that project to be completed by the school and reroute that drain. Once that's done, then that drainage will go away as well. So we did speak to them actually today, and they're gonna make that a priority to get that fixed. And once that's fixed, the Eva Street area shouldn't have any more flooding. Parts are on completion. They're on schedule right now. I did sit down with the city engineer firm last Friday. We drove all the parks. Well, I drove all the parks. A few things that we talked about. One thing that was slowing us down was Georgia Power not turning the power on so we can get some things done. They did turn the power on today, so we should kind of get the timeline back on schedule, having the parks up and going probably early September. So it'll still be hot during that time frame, and the commissions can use this out of those parks this year. Water leak mitigation, you see the streaks there. Some of this has been updated as we're speaking right now. Actually, the majority has been updated as we're speaking right now. So again, to our InfoMark team and Public Works, they're out every day trying to mitigate these water leaks as best they can, to the best of their abilities. And that is it for us, the infrastructure update, Mr. Mayor, and I will pause for any questions on the infrastructure.
Okay. Floor is open to the commission if you have any questions. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next, Mr. Mayor, we're going to have Director Simmons that's going to step in. And he's going to brief the city app and the code red. And again, before he takes the podium, I just want to stress again how important it is that our citizens download the app. Again, this is going to be the most effective and fastest way to get anything addressed. What I do now is I go around and Director Simmons goes around and some of the other directors, and we take the app and we show right there on the spot to citizens how fast response time it is. The main thing being with the app is you'll get an email so you can track what's going on. If you don't do it that way, then you won't know. The same thing can be applied to Georgia Power's link as far as tree maintenance and down power lines and down power lights. It is highly encouraged that citizens call that in because you'll get the email on response times and when it's going to get completed versus coming to me if I turn it in. So just encourage citizens to use these features that are available to them right now to get information in the fastest and most real time possible. I'm going to stop there, Mr. Mayor, and turn it over to Director Simmons.
Mayor, Commissioners created a short tutorial video. I'm going to add a little voiceover to it and get it posted on social media and our website. But you can see. There we go. So here is just really simple. They go to their App Store or Google Play Store, search My Waycross GA, hit download. It's the only thing that pops up, so it's really, really easy to find. Download, install, doesn't take very much space on their phones, but it, like Mr. Rayford said, it allows them to see all of this, so they can see the government. If they need to contact somebody, our community calendar, working really hard to make that community calendar robust. JD searches all of the events that are going on in the city and make sure they're on that community calendar. It's linked to the tourism page. They can now pay their water bill payments there. We're going to focus on the reporting issue, but they can also search jobs. As we post surveys, the link is there, city services. If they're not following our pages, the link's right there to all of our social media pages. And also we put things like the budget book and things like that that occurs from time to time. And it just slides up and down, real easy to use. So we're going to focus on this, but these, they could submit. So any issues they find, no matter 24/7, any issues, whether it's a water leak, trash in the road crack, trash can not picked up. And once we finish the Tyler conversion, they'll be able to do their business license and alcohol license also through the app. And we hope to have that done by mid-September. But they just click that issue that they're having. And you can see all the categories from there that are available. Then it kind of fine tunes it. So if they say blight, then those are some of the suggestions that we have, and we can always add more. So we kind of keep an eye on it. So if there's topics that are coming up frequently that we don't have, we add those to this. So it's forever evolving. But overgrown grass, they would just click that. It automatically pings the location based on their cell phone, but just let's say if it for some reason it's a little off, they can put in the address so they specifically know where it is. I did this upstairs, so that's why it's pinging City Hall. But also then they can take a picture, and the picture is very vital because it allows staff to see exactly what the issue is. We don't have to guess or try to figure out. We had somebody call a few weeks ago, and there was a dead animal in the road, and it was really decomposed, so it was kind of hard for him to find. But had they taken a picture of it, he would have automatically been able to identify landmarks and figure out where it was. So he wasted 10, 20 minutes trying to find it. But with this app and the picture, he would automatically know where it is. So they can take a picture, or if the picture's already in their gallery, they can just do that. If you notice on the bottom, they can submit anonymous. I would encourage people not to do that. We don't share their information, but if they submit anonymous, we have no way of letting them know how we're progressing with it. So if they put in their information, mine is already put in, so that's why it didn't come up. But you just put the name, email, telephone number. That way we can follow up with them, say it's been done, or we're working on it, or maybe some follow-up questions. But staff only sees that. It's just like any other code report they make. We don't share that with the public. I took a picture, so just know that. But then once they do that, it's simple. Hit submit, and it's all done. So it takes literally a couple of minutes to do. It automatically, no matter what time of the day is, I get an email. Several key staff get an email. I get them all just so I can kind of keep an eye on the categories that are being reported. But if you take an example of Public Works, Matt would get it. His next in command would get it. And sometimes, depending on what it is, if it's a water leak, it might go to ESG. If it's a trash can issue, it might go to finance. But several people see that report. community improvement, Mark gets it, Ally gets it, then they're able to disseminate to who needs to get to work on it. So that's the good thing about it. They don't have to wait till we open. That email's there automatically. So when they get to work in the morning, when they're assigning duties throughout the day, they automatically know to go ahead and assign that morning, or same way with Mark or anybody else. So it's really, really good to use. Again, this is kind of how it works. It's email immediate to the appropriate department, respond back to the citizens and say we're working on it or it's been corrected. Citizen can follow up with follow-up questions or thank you or whatever they want to say, or nothing at all. But as long as we have that contact information, we can do that. And this is just the email I wanted you to see. This is the email that will actually come to staff, and you can see there it tells new status. It has a work order number, the issue type, the subtype, gives the address, the pictures right there for them to see. It also tells who made submitted the report. That's my name, so it would be the person's name. Again, they can follow up with them if they have questions and things like that. And staff does always respond back to the citizen to let them know what's going on with the issue. So it's just really beneficial. It eliminates again some of the telephone calls that we get during the weekend and things like that. This is perfect for that because it's automatically addressed. If it's a major issue, whether it's a major water leak, ESG will immediately send somebody out to take care of it on the weekend, so they have somebody on call. I wanted to highlight some other things that are in the app. If you the 3 lines that are at the top of here on the app, if you click that, these brings up some other options. And Code Red is one we want to focus on. That's a service that's offered through the county. Mm-hmm. So any storms, things like that are happening, they get those alerts. And again, if they sign up for it, they get either sign up for a text message or a telephone call or both. So it lets them know, hey, there's a thunderstorm in your area or tornado watch in your area, things like that. So it's very vital that community members sign up for that. Again, that's a small, takes a couple of minutes. You could name, email address, telephone number, so that way they know how to reach you. But again, it is based on your location, so it could be citywide or it could just be for your neighborhood. So you might get it depending on where you live versus somebody else. So I just want to encourage everybody to sign up for Code Red, which is all built into the app. So it's kind of like a one-shop. We try to put as many resources as we can into the app to benefit the community. But that's just the Code Red. Real simple. Just create a username, make a password, hit continue, then put in just that contact information, address, telephone number, email address. And that's really it. That's all they have to do unless they move or something like that. Then that's always in the system, unless the telephone number change. Any questions?
One question I have is, how would they update it if they did change address and telephone number? Would they just go back
in Code Red? Just log back into Code Red. So if you don't, you should remember, I encourage everybody to write down their username and password, then log back into it and just update that contact information.
Very good. And I'll open the floor for the commission. You may have some questions.
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Code Red is an app, so they can also download that separately on their phone if they choose to, or they can just do everything straight.
Very good.
Straight through the My Waycross GA app.
Commissioner Felder has questions for you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Director Simmons, when did this app go into effect for the citizens?
July last year, I believe it was.
So
it was the first thing we rolled out with the conversion. I think it was June or July last year.
Okay. So more recently, I'm assuming with the reports that are being submitted to the app, I know you said that you'll be tracking the data. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed a trend in terms of what's being reported the most that are impacting citizens in the city?
I would say there's mainly 3, of course: blight, water leaks, and issues with trash cans, whether the trash wasn't picked up or the trash can's been broken, things like that. Those are the 3 main.
And what has been the response time with those reports on average?
Pretty quick, unless it's something like a water leak that takes a real long time, something under the road. But pretty much all of the majority of them are done in a day or 2. I can say that community improvement, when it comes through, they're right on it, and same with public works.
Thank you. What about holidays? Does that impact the response time?
It depends on what the issue is. So if it's a water leak and, Robert looks at it, ESG, and they deem we need to send somebody, they send somebody out right then. If it's, dead animal in the road, that might wait for a while or till we come back from a holiday.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Simmons and Mr. Mayor. As a point of information, so the report I sent y'all on the app, you will see, you will see the time spent on there, and some of it is, unfortunately, it's kind of skewed. So potholes, you said when it says time to fix, if we got a pothole which actually is a sinkhole, because it doesn't make any distinction between the two, like Sweat Street would be considered a pothole, and we know Sweat Street's been about 6 months now, as an example. So in that report, you're going to see, and I think I sent y'all a weekly report, you're going to see time to fix, and the potholes is going to probably say like 40, 43 days. So it's not that every pothole is there, it's just the last, the greatest, or the longest pothole, which would be Sweat Street, is kind of skewing that data, if that makes sense.
Understood.
Okay.
I had a question regarding that though. Were you saying Sweat Street was a pothole or a sinkhole?
No, I'm saying so. Mr. Simmons, so I get a report weekly. I try to send it y'all by monthly because it doesn't change that much. But when you read those statistics on there, it's gonna say potholes, number called in, time resolved, unresolved, longest unresolved. So it doesn't make a distinction between pothole and sinkhole. So if it's when the potholes in there, it's gonna be the sinkholes, which take much longer, as the director just stated. Sometimes for our locates, it could be, depending where that issue is, it could be a month. If we're dealing with GDOT when he locates, it could be even longer. So just make that distinction when you're reading reports.
Very good.
Next, Mr. Mayor, we move to the park grant discussion. And I'm gonna say this real quick, but I'm gonna get to the slides and come back to this slide so we can kind of talk about this. So right now, in the SPLOST 2023 funded, the commission board on having $300,000 to be taken on that SPLOST. When I brief the SPLOST plan, we talk about taking these monies out in November. And if we took it out in November, that would mean each commissioner would get $60,000 per park. Well, this park grant is asking for a 25% match. So that would mean if we did 100,000 as an example, it would be 400,000. They would, minus the 100,000, we would double our park amount, if that makes sense to everyone. I'm using an example. We could match the whole 300 and get, close to $1 million back. But I want to use it as an example as far as a talking point as we move down the slides. Any questions on those numbers, Mr. Mayor?
I have none, but I'll look to the commission. They may want to talk to you since they're the ones with the parks, by the way.
Okay.
District 1, did you have a question?
No, sir, I'm good with that.
District 2?
No, sir.
And District?
Yes. I would just like a balance of my park funding that I have remaining, and also expenses.
Will do.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Mayor, like I said, and this is kind of what it is. It's the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Program grant. It is due in September, at least applying for it. So we do want to kind of, if we do make a decision, we want to go ahead and get started. This is the overview. And our grant team provided that. They got multiple grants out here that they sent to us. I'm focusing on this right now because of the time suspense.
Okay. Well, just a quick question. Did you need any information from the commission
I'm
to move
going to come back to
forward?
that, Mr. Mayor. I want them to get this part
very
here.
good.
We'll come
Go
back
ahead.
to it.
Continue.
Mhm. So this is what it funds: park and trail development, land acquisition, water access, habitat restoration, ADA compliance, signage. And this is some of the categories: eligible use, multi-use walking trails, biking trails, ADA compliance, playgrounds, pavilions, resting areas. And the key thing here is, when we match, it cannot be split up. So say we did the 100,000 and we matched that, would be 25%, would be 400,000, get $300,000 back. That 300,000 must be applied to the same area in each park. So we could not take that 300,000 and then District 1 say I want to use it for walking trails, and then District 2 say I want to use it for ADA compliance, and District 3 say I want to use it for, lighting. and kiosks and stuff like that. It'll have to be the same purpose. That's the only kind of caveat to this. And also, because it is, the city can use what we call, let me find it down in here, where it says at the bottom now that matching funding may include local capital or general funds. That means if Public Works does the work, that can be the matching money. That means their salaries can be the matching money. So we could actually not pay anything. So if we decided, as an example, to do all trails and Public Works starts the trails, start the process off, that would be the match. Is everybody following me, Mr. Mayor?
I understand.
So, and of course, I'm gonna go back to eligible uses again. It could be walking trails, biking trails, signage, amendments, ADA, water access points, playgrounds, pavilions, shaded rest areas, restoration of parkland, native plants and stem banks, and then trailhead, kiosk lighting, safety features, and green infrastructure. And the requirements: the city must own the property, control the land, which we do. It must provide broad public access, which it will. It's a minimum 25% match is required. And then you see the numbers up there. The grant range can be $500K to $3 million. And the project must align with local planning documents such as the comprehensive plan, which this is on our comprehensive plan as far as park upgrades. And I've already discussed how the funding can be matched. This is just ideas for Waycross based off of some of those. And this is what the grant team recommend. The courts commission can decide how they want to utilize it. And it's really just moving off from suggested ideas from the main talking point. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I'm gonna go back to that first slide. What I am asking from the commission is some type of consensus what they would like to do, if they would like to do anything. I use the number 100,000 as 25% match. It could be more. We're not losing money in any way. We're not reappropriating money in any way. This is just use this seed money to, in some cases, double, triple, or quadruple our funding right now. And again, using an example, right now we have 300K that we will pull from the T-Spots 2023. If we use 100,000 that as a match for this grant, we will get 400,000, which is actually 300,000. So we would double our 300,000, 600,000, and each park will go from each commission getting 60K to 120K. And you can have different math on here, adding numbers. But I would like to ask today to go ahead and get a consensus to go ahead and apply for the grant with a 25% match, wherever the commission decides that match is. If they need more time, think about it, Mr. Mayor. We do have one more meeting that we could do, but I don't want to get too close to the submission time and miss out on this great opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity to maximize and pretty much double our funding for our parks.
I know that the date you said was September 15th.
Correct, Mr. Mayor.
And you said that the first portion of this would be that they would determine whether to take that amount of money which they have presently, which is 300,000, and divide it by 4 or 5.
5.
And they would be able to utilize that money, or they could take it and take that one amount and put it toward the grant.
Correct.
But then if you get the grant, you can't do anything, whatever one does, they have to do it in every park.
Correct. That's why my recommendation would be, I use the 100,000 because you're doubling your park monies. And if they decided to all do park equipment, we all know we need park equipment, new park equipment in other parks. Everybody could do new park equipment. New park equipment means swings, it means merry-go-rounds, it means lifted weights, it means a lot of different things. But it could be used for all those other parks that don't have new equipment.
So my question to the commission would be, would you like to go ahead? And if you confirm, say yes, if you want to go for the match, for the 25% requirement.
Okay.
If they want to do that, I'll just go one by one. If they say yes, then you have consensus. If there's one that says no, then you don't have consensus, and then that would take us back up to the split.
If I can, Ms. Mayor, just one more point of information. So again, we're not losing any money. So
No.
if we put in for the grant, 25%, and we get to meet the requirements, then we're getting 300,000 back from 300 we already got, which is 600,000. So we're not losing any money. So it's no exchange of money. It's just a matching fund to get whatever the 25% amounts for. So again, if we did the whole 300,000, that would be close to $1 million. But of course, I won't want to do that because then we'll be locked in to a specific item to do the parks. So just make sure that's clear to everybody. It's not like we're giving away 100,000 and not getting anything in return, some type of lotto type of situation. It's just a match to get the other funding.
I understand.
Yes, ma'am.
The reason I said what I said was because I want to make sure that as we're listening, you're only talking about taking 100K out of the 300.
Correct.
And we'll start with District 1.
I'll take a little more time, if you don't mind, Mayor.
District 2,
Yes, sir.
and District 3.
We're just voting, or are we going to be open for discussion?
We're just going to get consent first, and then we can go into discussion.
I'll abstain.
Okay. So we have 2 that are abstaining for the time, and 1 to agree. So I think what what we can do is let them have some conversations amongst themselves, and then come back, and they can make a vote. Because right now it won't go on the agenda because we don't have quorum. Or should I say we got quorum, but we won't have consensus. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next, Mr. Mayor, we're moving to the City Hall Energy Efficient Project. This is an update. I did mention we were trying to cool this building down.
Get consensus, we don't have conversation. The commissioner was concerned
But
about
it says
the
parks grant discussion on the agenda.
right. The park grants discussion is what he's just doing, and he just said he asked us to comment on whether we were wanting to allow for the 100K, so that it can be only 100K out of the 300K to go into a grant.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And what we got was abstain and let me think about it, and yes. So because there was no consensus, there's no more discussion unless you discuss it offline. Now, if I'm wrong, I need someone to correct me, but I'm believing that's our normal procedure is if we consent on it, then we have more discussion. Because we know tomorrow when it comes, if it should have come up, which it will not now.
Okay.
If it had come up tomorrow, then it would be another discussion. It could be discussed even at that time. So that's what has kind of eliminated it. We eliminated it by not giving consent.
And that is correct, Mayor, thank you. But I'm only going by what's stated on the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Understood.
Yes, Ms. Mayor. So item number 6, the City Hall Energy Efficiency Project. So with this, I had briefed the commission last month about trying to cool the building down. You know, we have an aging building, and it would be too much to change the windows out. With the summer being so hot already, it is extremely hot, especially upstairs on the 3rd floor, working its way down. So we took some of the money from the ARPA interest funding, which was, it makes interest every month. So it was about $100,000. We did a cost analysis, and to do the complete project, the project meaning we would tint all the windows here in the building and seal some of them, it would be $18K. Originally, I had briefed it was $10K, but it's a little bit more than that. I'd like to go ahead and move forward with this because, like I said, it's extremely hot for the workforce, definitely upstairs, and there's no way for me to cool the building down without changing out the air conditioner or the windows. And because it's a historical building, that would be really expensive. So we took this approach. I don't have the actual cool down temperatures, but we did do some research on other historical buildings. We obtained the windows, and it seems to really cool down the building. So I would like to go forward with this, just to support our workforce during those hot days. And hot days meaning from the month of April through the month of October as far as this building. And Mr. Mayor, I would need consensus to go ahead and move on with this purchase.
Okay, let me clarify to the commission. I know that there may be a little bit of a question mark above the heads, but if we could give the consent to at least put it on the agenda, we can still have those discussions. If you cut it out, then you don't have you won't have room to make that discussion. You can discuss it, but it won't make any difference because it's not going on the agenda. And then it will come back again for another discussion at a later date, which is going to be just a re-emphasis and a restatement or a change due to the fact that timeframes can sometimes change as we see here, from 10 to 18, we would be able to handle it by tomorrow. So if you were to say go ahead and put it up, if you decide overnight I don't feel good with this, I got buyer's remorse, no, so you vote it down. But it could be a thumbs up or a thumbs down tomorrow, but without having that consent. We can't put it on the calendar or on the agenda for discussion and or a vote. So if you will consider the City Hall Energy Efficiency Project, please let me know if you want to consent to it, to have more discussion on it and or a vote up or down tomorrow. So I'll come to each one of the districts, and this would be starting with District 1.
I'm good with it. Yes, sir.
District 2
Yes, sir.
and District 3.
Yes.
So now we can put this on the agenda for tomorrow, and if there are any questions or comments concerning it, we can then in turn have those comments and questions and then make a vote.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
If there's any question of the commission at this point concerning it, they might want to bring it up so the others can think it through at night and bring it back tomorrow. We'll have all day to chew on it. And when we get in our meeting tomorrow, you'll have some conversations around it. So I'll open the floor for any discussions or comments, and I'll start with District 1. Any comments or questions? No. District 2?
When was the last time that they even had the windows replaced that you know of?
I'm not sure, Ms.
So
Commissioner.
it's probably need to be done.
Yeah. But we can't replace the windows.
Well, you know what I'm saying, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah.
And District 3?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. When will this be put out for bid? When will this be put out for bid?
It can't be put out for bid. It could be a local purchase. I talked to the vendors in the city. They did tender.
Is that where you received the quote from?
Yes.
The 18K? Who is the business?
It was two businesses. I had Public Works do it.
Who are those two businesses?
I don't know the other business, Commissioner. I just got the cost.
Okay, could you provide that to me, please?
I'll get to you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
So this gonna cover all the windows at one time?
That's a good question. Commissioner has a question.
So will this cover all the windows?
Correct.
Okay, at one time, we're gonna do it all at one time?
Correct.
Okay. Yes.
So we do have consent for it to come up on the agenda tomorrow, and I'm certain the question that was asked just a few moments ago will also come back, which will mean the names of those places that will be possibly taken care of. Okay. With that, we are ready for putting it on the agenda for tomorrow. And we have consent for our clerk's record. We have consent from all three.
Thank you, sir.
Next, Mr. Mayor, you have a appointee nomination you have to make for the Aging Advisory Board, Southern Georgia Regional Commission. Your appointee is Ms. Barbara King. We have to do that in open format, so we're doing it here.
Very good. The Aging Advisory Board has given me an opportunity to either serve on the board and or to utilize the person who served on the board in our previous time. That person desired not to go back on the board. And because I'm on several boards, I want to make sure that I don't overextend myself. So with that being said, I have nominated Ms. Barbara King, and I just need the consent from the commission to receive my nomination, and that would be Ms. Barbara King. And just a little bit about Ms. Barbara King. She has been serving us on the Southern Georgia Regional Commission for as long as I've been mayor, so that's been about 5 years. This year, by the end of December, we will be 6 years on. And she has served our community well. She has never been absent from one meeting in the entire time that we've been on the board. I cannot say that for me, but I can say that for her. And with that, I just want to bring that before the board and have you consider her name for voting tomorrow to place on the Aging Advisory Board. And I'll start with District 1,
Yes, sir.
District 2,
Yes, sir.
and District 3.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, this concludes the discussion items. We're moving to the rest of the agenda. We have one privilege license renewal. We have no privilege licenses. We have currently 3 proposed ordinances, and I would defer to the city manager if you want to speak on any of those ordinances. No, okay. So we won't speak on that. We have no proposed resolutions.
Point of clarification.
Point of clarification. Commissioner Felder.
Did the city manager say that he would refer to the city manager, or did he mean the city attorney?
City attorney.
Thank you.
They all looked at each other.
We're the same person. We have no proposed resolutions, and we'll move to the city attorney's report if the city attorney has a report this first time.
There's a report at this time.
No report this time. Mr. Mayor, move to the city manager's report, and my report will reflect the daily update, but I will go over the daily update report during tomorrow's meeting. It will be updated with the new water and leaks that have been resolved that I mentioned earlier in the discussion items.
Very good.
Mr. Mayor, we do have an executive session finances.
Very good. Okay. With that, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session for finance from our
Mayor.
commission.
I make a motion that we lead into executive session to discuss finances.
We have a motion from our Commissioner Felder. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second from our Commissioner Roberts. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. We're entering into executive session. Thank you, everyone, for showing up.